Hey guys. Okay, so there's so much going on. So much going on. Holy crap. Let me get my chat back up. Um, so apparently there's a lot. I mean, this virus has gone like incredible. Finally, it's been called a pandemic by the World Health Organization. I mean, it's only in 187 countries. I mean, why would they go and do something alarmist like that? It's kind of insane. Remember, this is not the flu, not the flu. It is. It's several times more contagious, and it may not. I don't know. It may not have killed that many people so far compared to the flu, but it kills old people like no other. Now it's starting to kill young people too. There's two different strains. Just to catch you up, there's an L strain, there's an S strain. Some countries are getting both strains at the same time. Like people can get both strains at the same time, or they can be different. Some people are spreading it asymptomatically, which makes it harder to contain. When there's symptoms, when you have it and are contagious, it's really easier to contain. So even though it's not as deadly as MERS and SARS and all of that, per person who gets it, it is quite contagious, so it spreads around. Anyway, hi guys, how you doing? And Whitney, hello. And then we have the election too. There's so much going on. The president's supposed to be on any minute. I'm going to be watching for that. Do you want to say hello to people for me while I get the presidential one pulled up again?
So we got CB Unglesby listening to A-Hole. Okay. TR Galaxy. Hey, Sandy.
Oh, Sandy made it. Hi, Sandy. You made it. Yeah, hello. And then we have the election too. Oh, yeah. How come we can hardly hear you?
I got it. Me?
No, yeah. Sandy.
For me while I get that other. Can you hear me?
So we got CB Unglesby.
Barely.
A-Hole. Okay.
I have it. Okay. He's talking. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can share my screen.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. There's an echo. There's something else playing.
Me?
No, yeah. Sandy.
I don't know. I'm trying my headset. Can you hear me?
You guys can't hear that.
Let me go
Barely. Okay, I can't hear it. Can you guys hear it? Okay. He's talking. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can share my screen.
Can you hear me?
Yes. There's an echo. There's something else playing. Sorry, guys. This is a mess. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Just a minute. Let me fix mine.
Can you hear me? You guys, let me hear that. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Are we better?
Yes.
One of you have it pulled up to try and share it, because I don't know why. It might be my settings, so maybe if one of you can share the address. He's already started it.
Or not?
Sorry. In case people don't know, Trump is giving an address. I'll talk about like why I think this is kind of freaky, and we need to know what he's saying in a minute. But we need to see if we can get him pulled up.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Great.
All right.
Now if you can try sharing that.
I've got him.
Significantly reduce the impact and reach of the virus. Additionally, last week I signed into law an $8.3 billion funding bill to help CDC and other government agencies fight the virus and support vaccines, treatments, and distribution of medical supplies. Testing capabilities are expanding rapidly. Day by day, we are moving very quickly. The vast majority of Americans, the risk is very, very low. Young and healthy people can expect to recover fully and quickly if they should get the virus. The highest risk is for elderly population with underlying health conditions. The elderly population must be very, very careful. In particular, we are strongly advising that nursing homes for the elderly suspend all medically unnecessary visits.
Like the White House.
In general, older Americans should also avoid non-essential travel in crowded areas. My administration is coordinating directly with communities with the largest outbreaks, and we have issued guidance on school closures, social distancing, and reducing large gatherings. Smart action today will prevent the spread of the virus tomorrow.
Yeah, we know he's lying when his lips are moving.
Well, he's
Hold
reading,
on.
sweetheart.
There's
He's
point to this.
reading. He's reading.
Local officials who are working closely with our
He's doing all right. He's reading.
experts, and they are the best. For all Americans, it is essential that everyone
This is pretty basic.
precautions and practice good hygiene. Each of us has a role to play in defeating this virus. Wash your hands, clean often used surfaces, cover your face and mouth if you
We didn't
sneeze or
need this
cough.
tonight because
And most of all,
everybody's been
if you
doing
are
this
sick,
same
This is
treat.
teleprompter talk.
Yes.
To ensure that working Americans impacted by the virus can stay home without fear of financial hardship.
He's on his downers tonight.
I want to hear this.
Which is
Okay.
unprecedented.
What's this?
To provide financial relief.
Let me hear it.
This will be targeted for workers who are ill, quarantined, or
I
caring
want to
for
know
others
it's
due to
FMLA.
coronavirus. I will be asking Congress to take legislative action to extend this relief. Because of the economic policies that we have put into place over the last 3 years, we have the greatest economy
What
anywhere
relief?
in the world by far.
Oh,
Our
Jesus.
banks and financial institutions
What relief?
Teleprompter.
incredibly strong.
I'll tell you what I think
Our
after
unemployment
this.
is at a
As an
historic low.
HR person.
This vast economic prosperity gives us flexibility, reserves, and resources to handle any threat that comes our way.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
way
not
behind.
a financial
Way
crisis.
behind.
This is just a temporary moment of time that we will overcome together as a nation and as a world. However, to provide extra support for American
Well, he's trying to be
workers, families, and
presidential.
businesses,
Did it get
I am
tested?
announcing the following
I know.
additional actions.
Okay, here, let's
I
see.
am instructing the Small Business Administration to exercise available authority to provide capital and liquidity to firms
To fracking!
Yeah.
To the fracking industry.
And cruise line industries
The SBA
and the
will
banks. I gotta talk about that
begin
too.
providing
Yeah.
economic loans in affected states and territories. These low interest loans will help small businesses overcome temporary economic disruptions caused by the virus. To this end, I am asking Congress to increase funding for this program by an additional $50 billion. Using emergency authority, I will be instructing the Treasury
Dropping the
Department
bucket
to
for
defer tax
Bloomberg.
payments
He is more
without
coherent than
interest or
Biden, by the way.
penalties for
Malcolm.
certain individuals and businesses negatively impacted.
Well, he's on Adderall.
This action will provide more than
Yeah.
$200 billion of additional liquidity to the economy. Finally, I am calling on Congress to provide Americans with immediate payroll tax relief.
Payroll tax relief is bullshit, and I'll tell you why.
I know it is. I agree.
In the fight against the virus.
It's not going to help anybody.
Hopefully he doesn't talk long. Sorry, guys.
Are we bored?
The same action with Europe.
I'm a little bored because he's not really
Okay,
saying
well,
anything.
listen. It was the payroll tax thing that I will say is stupid, because what they should have done is expanded on the Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA, and what they should do
Is that
is
pay to it?
yes. But what would happen with corporations is the smaller the company, the more relief they would get for their employees. The larger the company and the larger the profit margin, the less relief they would get federally. So if you're a small company and you need to have with 50 or more employees, whatever, or even a small company, your employees would take off under this expanded powers of the Family and Medical Leave Act, which was signed into law in the 1990s, and you can get 12 weeks paid or unpaid, but it's unpaid leave. This would be paid, and then your company gets back the money through either now that's where it could be through taxation, or it could be through direct billing, pay.
Mm-hmm.
But then it would not interrupt the flow of money to employees. Now, if you have a big corporation, let's say like PepsiCo, with worldwide subsidiaries and all, then you have to look, the federal government has to look at it a little differently. And then the people still get paid. And of course, they have to use whatever accrued sick time and vacation time, whatever accrued time you have first, which is what you do under the FMLA. You use that, then you get paid under this plan. And if your corporation has a humongous, makes billions of dollars, why would the federal government
Yeah, they
give?
shouldn't.
They don't
Yeah,
have.
that should be more for
No,
small
and it's going to be
businesses.
on a scale. So I thought this out quite a bit. And I don't
It
agree
sounds
with
like
how.
it. Okay, so what about people who are not currently employed or homeless or?
All right. This
Okay.
is through the local governments then. Local governments are usually tasked, it's on the local level. They're tasked with taking care of their local populations. So this is different. This is different with these populations. There's
That'd be
not enough beds.
expanding welfare services. Probably.
Exactly. And then again, the municipalities, the little cities, however they get reimbursed federally from other contracts that they have with the federal government, would get reimbursed for this. And this could have to, but this payroll tax is not going to help anybody, because the less you make, it's going to be peanuts. The
And you
people
won't get
that
it
might
till, I
see,
mean, if you are laid off your job, you're not going to get it anyway.
it's not a good idea. What it
So,
is
yeah.
really rewarding the higher paid individuals that may actually see something worth something. So my thoughts were this, but I don't, he doesn't have the kind of people that think like I do on his administration. Unfortunately, they don't
Hire
think like this.
professionals. He hires his buddies.
I'm not a
billionaire.
professional anymore. It was just the thoughts were that it doesn't have to be hard. The
No.
reimbursement, I mean, it doesn't have to be hard at all.
What
And
about
this
for
could
people
be in place
quarantined and
now.
helping them with their mortgage? I listened to all the
Yes.
hearings, and there was a lot of ideas thrown out there. And then while I was listening to one of those hearings, right in the middle of it, they chopped it off. The White House sent them a message saying, you got to end this right now. I need those people at the White House right now. So they stopped the hearing dead in its tracks. The one they were hearing on response to the coronavirus, and the White House cut it dead cold. Done.
Oh, well, because
And
it's,
then
anything that's going to be seen as maybe a little liberal.
oh man, it wasn't even that. I mean, because
I'm
the
looking for
Republicans
your
were there
page.
questioning them too.
Sure.
They were all getting their words in edgewise, but
Yeah, you're right.
they
I
just
didn't see
stopped
it.
it. They don't want that information out, which drives me crazy. And then there was another. The White House was supposed to speak with the task force, the coronavirus task force. I waited for an hour on that video after it was supposed to come on, and it never came on. So
And you're
this is why I
studying this
wanted to
for a
see what the hell
reason.
Trump had to say, and I don't know. We missed the very beginning of it, but
Well,
I
I
don't know
can
if he
look it
said
up while
anything
you guys.
valuable.
You guys talk. I'm going to look up on Twitter what the usually you can just get everybody's on Twitter already
Yeah, the
talking about
tweet.
it.
I mean, there's
So I can find that. Hey, he could have said, martial law, but he's saying we can no flights to Europe. I don't know where else yet, but right now Europe, except for the UK.
Oh yeah, like they're doing so great right now.
So
I
I'm
mean,
just going to pull it up and
talk
hi
about
Whitney.
being
You talk
reactive.
now. Now that I did my whole diatribe on what I thought they should have done, at least for employment,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me talk about really quick. Sorry, Whitney. We'll get into the
No,
politics.
go ahead.
And
Stick to the coronavirus. I'm interested. It's a
I didn't
pandemic.
have a town meeting, Jean. It was more like I was writing up um, recommendations for our company in my position. Those people, like specific safety things to do for our position in the nation. So it wasn't a town meeting really, but yeah, and then corporate ended up nixing most of it. So, but don't worry, we had a corporate call today. Oh my God, I'm so just disgusted with the response my company had. They After all this stuff is like all this, oh, we're doing so great, and all this stuff's gonna happen this year, and 2020 is gonna be awesome. And don't worry, we're monitoring the coronavirus situation. All of our distributors from our components are going to be just fine. We're watching that. So don't worry about the coronavirus. And then on top of that, they were like, oh, well, there might be opportunities because people might be worried that mosquitoes will carry the coronavirus and infect people. So we might have a sales opportunity there. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's
Are
just
you
the
really
profit
kidding me?
motive. It's the profit motive.
I am so disgusted with my company right now. I'm just disgusted. Disgusted. Can I say totally disgusted?
Totally
And I'm sitting
disgusted.
there just and at the beginning or before the meeting, my regional boss called around to all the places and any questions for the big meeting, and I wanted to bring up, so what's the company planning on doing, when this coronavirus spreads, and what about, sick leave and all that? We only have one week of sick leave. What if we're quarantined? Those are the kinds of questions I wanted answered, but my boss told me, no, we're not really doing the coronavirus thing.
Mm.
So, I mean, you can ask it if it's a positive thing for how are we going to make money off of it, but you can't ask a question as far as what is the company planning for when shit hits the fan, basically. Yeah, I'm slightly disgusted. I don't know, but I have to say that the coronavirus is better than any freaking boycott any of us could do as far as shutting
Naturally,
crap
yeah.
down. So there's
I mean, like,
that.
global emissions are supposedly like dropping, obviously, because
Yeah.
production's stopping. So we'll see what happens. I know it's like a
Lights
blip.
I don't know who's studying it. I would love to find out which universities are now like jumping on this, because I know that the Polar Stern, the Mosaic project is up there, and they were just about to start their atmospheric tests, but things are going to be different from what they thought their baseline was going to be,
Yeah.
because who expected that they were going to have this? And
Oh my God, I have a leaf right in
I
your
know.
face,
It's
Sandy. I
so
just realized I
unpredictable.
have my logo like right in your face.
Ow.
I'm fixing it right now.
I don't know. I didn't look. I don't care.
It's better now.
I on top of all the other shit, I'm pretty sure I fractured a rib. It's been killing me.
No.
So yeah, I twisted and heard a pop on Saturday, and I haven't been able to do anything. It's like
That happens to me every day, like 5 times a
number
day.
3. It's horrible though. This has been like feels like Jesus Christ. I don't know.
My hips
It's
been bad
worse.
since both my hips have been bad
Oh,
since I was a teenager.
well, this is
And
stupid.
I'll just roll over and it'll be crack, crack. Oh, I can't get up. It's been
This
that way
was
for,
really
it's
weird.
getting
I
worse
don't
and
know
worse,
what
but
happened. I don't know.
yeah, it's something, some kind of, and I have an autoimmune disorder. I'm probably going to die if I get this virus. And now they're telling people in Germany that they're likely to get the virus. Like almost everybody in Germany, they're saying is going to get the virus. And, Italy's already shut down. And I was just in a chat while I was waiting for the White
Things are
House
going.
the first time, the second time, waiting for the White House to come on. There was a guy from Germany saying, yeah, Germany's pretty much shut down just like Italy. And I haven't heard that
Well,
news.
it's just
I
gonna
can't confirm it. It
happen.
was just someone in chat. So don't quote me on it. It was just someone in chat. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll look it up. I'll look up things while we talk.
Yeah, I know they did
Say
say
hi to
that
everybody.
almost, but there's been experts saying that we're going to get it.
Bio asked if the corona started in the Big Apple. Well, it's more so in the city called New Rochelle, which is outside of Manhattan, and it is
It's a suburb.
concentrate. Yeah, but it's a city suburb. It's not like like a rurally looking suburb. Not
Yeah,
New
it's not like
Rochelle.
here. It's like,
No, not
but
like
it's a
even where I
suburb.
am.
But I think some of the rural areas are going to even be harder hit because they've been closing so many rural hospitals. I mean, that was a big story last year.
Oh my God,
What?
Gene said they canceled Guns N' Roses in Costa Rica concert.
Yeah, they're canceling everything.
I'm so sorry.
They're canceling like Coachella, like Stagecoach.
Mm-hmm.
Concerts.
They canceled a big rodeo in Texas, like huge giant
Everything's shutting
rodeo.
down.
The ripple effect is going to be not just what people get paid. The ripple effect is all of these people that work these shows and all these vendors, and is there going to be any kind of remediation for a vendor truck person that works at Coachella?
So
I mean, these people are all going to be on welfare. They're going to get public services.
The first people that Trump meets with to ask about what he should do for the stimulus package to help is the bankers. The bankers, okay? Of course, what are they going to say? Well, the small businesses are going to need loans and this and that, So, of course, that translates into the bankers getting the money so they can give all these other places loans. I mean, oh my God.
Can
we
I
haven't
just
even gotten
answer
to the
one?
election yet, and I'm already pissed.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to answer. I'm going to be quiet, but I'm going to answer one more question. Moose Cow said, where are they getting the money to pay this? Our budget in Omnibus is not like a home checking account. They're not taking from one thing to pay for this. They will create money.
They'll print money.
They will. But you see, there's always allocation money, the slush fund, I mean, to say it in, but so the government has the money, and quite frankly, our taxes won't go up, but it's much more than I want to go into right now. But suffice it to say, the United States government, the richest country in the world, can afford to take care of its people. It doesn't. Exactly. And he was meeting with the banksters today. So.
Yeah. He also met
because
the
he's concerned about
executives.
Yeah.
So
the fracking industry. Yeah.
I just know like our local hospital. I've had a couple of friends that worked at our local hospital, and they are stretching everything to the max. They're really,
there's not,
of course, the
enough
executives
beds.
have plenty of money. They're just, they cut it down to like a skeleton crew and all that, and they don't have the beds. We have in this state 1,000 confirmed. Not every flu virus is confirmed, just mind you, but they have 1,000 confirmed by the CDC cases of influenza on top of the virus issue. So when they start getting down to the nitty gritty, we're not going to have any hospital beds. There's not going to be any optional, what do you call it, medical procedures.
So there's shortages.
Yeah,
Italy's starting to have shortages, but they're, much smaller population, but the beds are not going to materialize for everything they need.
Right. Moose Gals, I love your question. Do you think this virus would give us would give us a push to mandate paid family sick leave? I think it can. If it doesn't kill us all. No, it won't kill us all. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this is going to kill everybody.
FMLA, the Family and Medical Leave Act, what I was talking about, could be, the language is in the act to change it to a mandatory sick pay, but it's just the financials that have to be worked out within each company's budget and how and all.
Right.
But when getting reimbursed by the federal government, the difference is this is a one-shot thing.
Going through listening to the different states and their responses, like Washington and New York, you find out that they have mandatory sick pay leave. And
where?
New York and New York City, at least. I don't know about New York, the whole entire state, but Cuomo or whatever was saying that there's already sick pay. Like,
yeah, New York has its own disability system, and so New York is now going to
and Washington compensate. Is too. So why can't we get it across the country? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's every state is different. That's because of your politicians, and those are the laws and regulations in your local communities and your states. So in our state, where we are focused, I guess is, focused has the policies, but I'm not sure if you're talking about just state employees right now. It can't, because
it didn't sound like it. It didn't sound like it when
I don't
know. You would know that way better than I would. I'm sorry, I keep reading Miss Gal's comments, but she tags me in them, so it's easier to see. It just pops out.
Gal?
I heard the Trump administration is thinking bailing out oil and gas industries. And
I feel like I heard that too.
I feel like I heard that too. Absolutely,
the fracking industry, because
and the cruise line industry.
Well, the thing about the energy, the Department of Energy and their little buddies, because of what's going on overseas between Saudi Arabia and Russia and the oil prices, it then drives down the prices for our gas in this country. And fracking is usually a losing bet anyway.
I know. So people are starting to pull out of those, and they want. Of course, you got to save those millionaires and billionaires because the average people, they don't matter. Okay, let's read some comments, and then we really need to move on to politics.
Thank you for letting me, because I haven't talked about this at all, and I haven't been on much, and so I just decided to straighten myself up and come on with you.
I'm sure I'll come up with other things I need to talk about because there's so much. But that freaked me out. I'm sorry when they ended that. If you go to that House committee meeting on the what was it?
I will.
On the response at the very end is where they ended it. Is where like right before the last question they ended it, and they read the statement from the White House, the message they got from the White House, and then the chair just made a statement, and then she took one last question. They shut it off. So
there was like a meeting where Trump just left, during like addressing this issue, just like these guys.
Oh, the one that the other day, and he left. He left Mike Straight-Face Pence, who has the affect of a schizophrenic.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Yeah, some leadership we got going on. It's just like embarrassing. It's going to be worse than that. Oz says hi to all of us.
Hey, Oz.
We love you, Oz.
Nice to be on your channel because I can hide here because I'm not. Who the hell knows I'm on your channel?
Exactly.
And there's those that are on the inside that know my stinking stupid story.
Well, all my people are your people, I think. So.
Yeah, I know, but there's nobody.
Getting the virus and getting over it is not as simple as it sounds. Also, there's evidence it doesn't leave you with any immunity defenses for catching it a second time. Yeah, I mean, I think that's still yet to be determined, and there could be a second wave, and we don't know if it leaves you with immunity after you recover from it, because there has been at least one case that they came back and got it a second time, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be. I don't know anything. I think these are valid questions. It's like, what's going to happen? We don't know if it's going to go away like the seasonal flu does. We don't know. Temperature doesn't seem to be affecting it in different places. My door just opened up all by itself. That's creepy.
Well, I know that cases are underreported, but I mean, this was like earlier in the afternoon. We have 1,000 cases in the U.S. and the death count is 31. I mean, that
is that all? No, it was 1,039 last I heard.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going up, and then worldwide. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, do them. If you could do the math, that'd be cool because it's just constantly changing. Like Monday Madness.
I don't do math. I have an app.
Yeah, I mean like the website, right? You guys have that website. Val, it was the website Val had, right? You guys, I don't know. Val had it. Val, what is the website? It showed like what's But anyways,
my phone's being slow.
Like 2 days ago, the United States, the cases was like 600, and now we're like 1,000 plus. So like that was 2 days ago.
Last time I heard it was 1,039, and that's what they said in the hearings. And they've only done less than 5,000, tested less than 5,000 people. They'll say that they've done like 8,000 tests, but that's multiple tests on individuals. So they've only tested like 5,000 people in the U.S. so far. That was in today's hearing. And this is what they don't want you to hear. They don't want you to hear these facts. We don't know how widespread it is in the U.S. And likely for every case there's probably, I don't know, 1,000 more out there because it's been spreading like wildfire with no stop. Okay. Come on, that could be right.
Okay, so
okay, so 125,000 confirmed in the whole world. So that's up since this morning.
Exactly. It just keeps going up.
Well, yeah, but is it exponential yet? Let's ask
it's
him.
exponential.
Is that it is exponential? Is it doubling? I don't know. Let's ask who's in the audience.
Torstein knows. He's been tracking it. And
is it doubling, Whitney?
Everybody like it should double in like
I don't think it is. I don't think it's doubling yet.
Not
like,
every day it's not doubling.
But I don't know because right now my statistics radar ain't on. And that was like, I haven't done any statistical analysis since 2014 when I did my last plan for my research.
See, John Hopkins said, this is the site I'm looking at is John Hopkins, which has been very accurate. They're only showing
that's what everybody
900 and something cases, 900, almost 1,000 cases. But all the news media said it's been over 1,000 cases. And what's his name? I'm pretty sure one of the people we listened to say 1,039. Maybe it was the WHO or something. I haven't looked at CDC because CDC website is now totally confusing.
Jean said they in Costa Rica they tested around 2,000 suspected.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Yeah, and you can't just walk in and say, "Well, I'm suspecting myself." I mean, the doctors have to check you and everything. Yeah. I would imagine. We were worried when we first came. We were in the airport in Logan in January 29th it was, and people had masks on, and some of them had respirators, but we really weren't worried for ourselves. We were just learning about how was going on.
I know. I was just in the airport. Okay, so the CDC, I know the CDC has only been testing, or they won't put the Grand Princess cases in it.
A wall. The white. Oh, it's just a wall?
Yeah, it's a wall.
I didn't do anything.
So some places are adding in the Grand Princess cases in with the regular cases.
I'm going on a fucking cruise.
So the Fort
I'm going to Alaska.
I wouldn't even do. There's 2 more cruise ships that aren't allowed to dock right now.
I know you're gonna be stuck there.
But anyway, if you add the Diamond Princess, the U.S. citizens from the Diamond Princess, 46, and then you add that to the 900 whatever, and that's where the other countries they're adding those 2 together, to get the 1,039.
Cats.
I understand. Usually I have my dog issues.
Kim said the casinos are going to take a big hit here. Oh my God, you're right here too. Where I live, it's all the Native American casinos. Holy shit, that's right. People aren't going to want to go in those germy places. Everybody's smoking cigarettes and drinking and germs and grossness. Ugh.
This is almost easier to talk about than the election.
I know.
Well, the election. Who said to me on Antonio's stream last night that he bared his political soul, and he's very moving. And some commenters said that listening to Antonio's election stuff was easier than the climate change stuff. I guess it depends on what your comfort level is.
Yeah, what your biggest fear is or whatever. Yes.
I don't know if I even.
To me, this is a relief because I'm thinking, think of all the pollution that's not happening because of all these closures and shutdowns. That's what I'm thinking. That's, and I feel bad about the loss of life and all that, but all those, I mean, not everyone's old that dies. There's some younger people that die too, but that loss of life is very sad. But when you consider the young people that do not get to live to the age they are, I'm sorry, I can't feel as bad for you. I do feel bad. I feel bad, but not as bad as I do for the younger generation that has to deal with our environmental situation.
Especially the ones born like now, babies. They don't even know the world they're in yet.
Research out of China and Japan found that the virus is airborne and is viable in a closed space for at least 30 minutes. I seen that too.
Okay, then I'm not leaving the house.
I seen that too. Like there was a case in China that had a couple cases on a bus that were 30 minutes apart, and they weren't sitting in the same area on the bus, and so 2 people got it on that bus. So it's kind of freaky. But
Sorry.
and people I hear people on the news all the time saying it lives on surfaces for hours. No, it lives on surfaces for days. depending on the temperature, the type of material, the humidity level, it can live up to 9 days on a surface. So, sorry, don't make people feel comfortable about cleaning, every day, once a day. I mean, they're sitting there spraying down and cleaning the buses. Every day we're cleaning those buses, and you're supposed to feel good about it. And
my husband works in a school and cleans the school. And I know that I make him spray his feet, shoes. I said, don't wear them.
Lysol.
Yeah.
And think about all the disinfectant that's being used on those streets in so many countries. That has to be. You see them walking down the street and spraying down everything. How many animals? So that's going to be a biohazard, the big biohazard. Who's studying that? I wonder. There was a story on it. Pink did it.
A story, yeah. But I wonder what university is going to study it. Because there's somebody to study everything.
Tom Hanks and his wife tested for COVID-19.
Where did they go?
I don't know. Some NBA season canceled.
What?
Or they're not going to play with people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
But I don't know. It could.
Audience.
Like hockey, they're probably not. It probably is all these. I don't know if hockey.
Stay the fuck home, says Anthony. That's the new thing. Stay the fuck home. If you have the ability, stay the fuck home.
I already do. The only place
I know you do. I wish I could.
Doctor's appointments. I'm supposed to go. I was supposed to go today, but I couldn't drive even into town yesterday because I couldn't drive. It hurt.
Oh, your hips? Oh man.
No. Where I did the I fucked up my rib. And it's killing me. I either fractured a rib or I
Quit hurting yourself, Sandy.
I didn't do it on purpose. This is my body just reacting to whatever. And I'm not unhealthy. I just have a terrible spine. This is stupid shit. I don't know what happened. It hurts like a mother, and I couldn't drive up there today.
Okay.
Jesus.
Let me make sure I got all my points. I'm pretty sure I missed my points on this virus thing, but we do have to move on to the election eventually.
We do?
Unfortunately. I don't want to. I mean, I prefer not talking about, but I kind of promoted that we were talking about it.
You guys talked about that. What night was it? Last night. What else is going on besides the election? Because we all know what we're going to say. Pretty much. Don't we?
Yeah, I know what I'm going to say.
And there's
Probably most people who know me know what I'm going to say.
A lot of bad feelings about what the fuck is going on and how we know we're getting fucked. So there we go. We just had the conversation. And now what are we going to do? Okay, so what are we going to do with our lives for the next 4 years, presuming we have 4 years?
Presuming we have 4 years, exactly. Make sure Trump gets all credit that is due. Ms. Kelce says, in general, all employees in Chicago must comply with the paid sick leave law. The law covers any employee who works within Chicago's city limits and who works 80 or more hours.
Mm-hmm. Good. Good. Cool. See, it's all Utah's on the local level. It's on the no, but if Utah wants to help, it's like, first of all, there'll be the people that work for the state, the civil servants and the federals, but then hopefully your state will have some kind of progressive move to help its people, know?
She says, okay, she continues, in a 120-day period, employees must accrue 1 hour of sick leave for every 40 hours of work, up to 40 hours in a 12-month period. That's pretty much what I get. But I need those for all my doctor's appointments. I haven't even been, I haven't had my own medical situation. I'm waiting on getting tests. The hospital must be overrun because I cannot get my testing scheduled. I cannot get it scheduled. And apparently in this state, flu, for the most part. And only 1,000 cases of the flu have been confirmed by the CDC.
You need to go, but you need to get lab work for something unrelated, right?
Right.
So are there any other labs, private labs in your, like in New York, we have private labs, and that's what actually Trump, they partnered with the federal government, with Quest and the big private labs. All right.
My doctor sends me to a hospital, and I can't go to
not a hospital. Like a private lab. Are there any private labs in your state?
I can go to a lab for my blood work. I can't go to a lab for the other tests I need for my lungs in my esophagus. I need to.
So you just have to wait now for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so see, we don't even have Medicare for all, and you have to wait.
We don't even have medical.
Yeah, there you go.
Blake, I guess is it. I see people talking to Blake. Oh, there's Blake. Hello, Blake. Good to see you. Kim Centeno, by the way, I haven't said hi to you. Osama. Ecosphonot. I don't think I said hello to Ecosphonot. I love that name. Choctaw Warrior is here as well, Buddy. I've said hello to Buddy already.
I don't want to go to the hospital either. There's
I'm afraid to go now. Like,
I don't want to go,
go,
but I have to get an X-ray somewhere tomorrow, probably just so I know, because this is yuck.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say about this
Right
except
after
for
shingles.
the whole country of Italy is still shut down.
Oh,
It's sounding like Germany is. I mean, just from the chatter, he says
You
the
find
chat
something,
guys I
Whitney?
talked to said
well,
it's
there's
pretty much shut
two
down.
things. The experts, they say, because the numbers keep rising, right? You guys are talking about that. They said that an estimated between 70 million to 150 million in the United States could contract the coronavirus. That's like 1/3 of our population.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Up to 60%, I've heard that
Okay.
could actually contract it. Now only 80% will get like no symptoms or mild
So
symptoms.
will anybody over 55 be alive? Because then they can fuck Social Security anyway.
Yeah, but the younger people, well, they don't.
Boom.
They're not all Whitneys. I'll just say that. they're not all paying attention. But,
I know sometimes. Yeah, I gotcha.
but when they do pay attention, they tend to care about shit like that, Especially after they lost a parent or a grandparent, they'd probably be a little bit more, fight worthy, I guess. I'm not gonna wear a mask or goggles. I'm not either, and we have them. And if I go,
Nobody does them right anyway. If you put it on and you take it off and you don't.
I know if you're constantly touching it.
If you touch it after, or if you don't take it off and then take it off very carefully and then either dispose of it or spray it. I don't know.
You're supposed to take it off from
the
the ears, just so you know if you ever wear them. From the ears, don't take it off this way. You see people in the videos all the time doing that, fussing with it. Don't do that because you're getting into your mucous membranes.
Yeah, there you go.
You take it off here and throw it away. Okay. That's what you do. Okay, but
more
Fax
pollution.
is here. Aunt Tina, I saw Aunt Tina in the chat. Yay.
Choctaw Warrior says Lysol condoms. Anyone?
I know. Oh, that was burned.
I found
the meme that was burned.
I found a meme that said continuous sex is the cure to COVID-19.
Martyr Jerome. Maybe
My mother liked that when she was 44.
Corona, or convinces America to buy a bidet? What's a bidet? You have to explain that one. I don't know what
a bidet.
A bidet. Oh, sorry, I'm not French.
Okay. A bidet.
You don't need toilet paper. You wouldn't be hoarding toilet paper if you had a bidet.
You can make your own bidet with a goddamn shower head that has a thing on it and move it around. There you go. There's a bidet.
I missed you, Aunt Tina. You haven't been around for so long. Damn it.
Anthropomorphic facsimile.
Yes, Antina.
Antina. You call her Antina. I call her Anthrofax.
Sometimes I used to call her Fax, then she said Antina, so I'm going with Antina.
Antina's cute.
So, Anthony Davis, we love Anthony Davis. If for some reason you catch flu, then also get exposed to COVID-19, your immunity will be bad, so you'll get a double whammy. That's so true. And just think, flu is already like rampant here in this state. Okay, we have churches in every neighborhood. There is a Mormon church, and every weekend they are jam-packed with people. You have Mormon missionaries coming back and forth from Europe and every other country on the planet, back and forth, back and forth.
Well, they're not going to be able to now because there's a travel
they're not going to now, but before, I went and looked up on the LDS Church website. I looked up what their standards were for the missionaries that came back from overseas. No quarantine. Unless it was specific areas, just like the CDC won't test you unless you have a connection to like Wuhan, or now they've expanded it a little bit, but you had to be like Wuhan, China, or something, and have the symptoms before they test you, which they haven't even tested that many people. 5,000? Are you kidding me? Ridiculous. But no, the Mormon missionaries, they didn't even quarantine them unless they came back from specific regions of the country with the outbreak, not just. I mean, I'm sorry.
One
Come back
person
from China when there's a
sneezes.
huge outbreak, and this was a month ago when I was looking this up, and that's when it was huge in China.
You've been on top of this shit, girlfriend.
Well, I know it freaks me out. I have an autoimmune disorder. Okay, I'm a little freaked out. I've had a fever.
I do too.
I'm already compromised. I've had a fever since 2 weeks before Christmas. And I have hot flushes because it's that time of.
Maybe you should take FMLA and take some leave time. And do you have vacation and sick time? Can you use your sick time and then your vacation time?
I want to have. I want one more camping trip before I die. I need some.
You're not going to die, Chris. You're just taking some time off. If your area becomes suspect,
touching your
have a serious medical condition. I'm touching my. How are you supposed to put your makeup on? Take your makeup off, and my eyes are watering anyway because it's.
I know, and it's hotter than
dry in here.
I know it's not that hot. I have the window wide open right here. Window wide open. It's only like 40 degrees outside, and I am dying.
Oh, what's it here? It might be about the same.
Oh, Red's
Let's
here.
see.
Jill Stein is a Russian asset. Ha ha. Had to do that.
It is 37 here. Not much difference.
Oh, I don't know the exact temperature.
Where are you, Whitney?
It's like 40.
What's the temperature there?
Los Angeles. We just finally had some rain. I want to say like.
Okay, I lied. It's 56, so it's freaking hot.
No, high 60s.
It's 56. It was supposed to be 56 is our high today. 38 is our low. So I figured it would be close to 40. So sorry, my bad. It's 56 right now. 60, I don't know, 61 it ended up being the high. So whatever. Anyway, Red's here. I haven't seen Red forever either. All these people just joined us today. Hot flashes. Oh, how I remember those damn things. They suck so. Welcome to menopause. I know it sucks getting old.
Yeah, it does. My hair's falling out. Everything's broken, hurting. But
I know.
You know what? My mind works a few days a week. So
I'm not sure how much it works. We really have to talk about the election, though. I know we keep putting it off, but it was in my title.
Okay,
it was in
we'll
my
tackle
promo.
it.
We have,
And
and
if
Whitney's dying to talk about it.
Okay, what is it that you want to talk about?
I'm going to talk about how well Trump did in the Democratic primary.
Okay, I'll just get the facts out real quick. So, Biden is winning right now. He won.
Which means Trump is winning.
Exactly, right? So, Biden won Mississippi, Missouri, Michigan, which Bernie won in 2016, which isn't good, as well as Idaho, which Bernie won in 2016. Bernie won North Dakota and most likely Washington. I don't know if they called it officially. The delegate count's like 860 for Biden and Bernie's 710. I think Bernie's going to continue. I mean, it's basically we know like they okay. The establishment is protecting Joe Biden, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah, they might not do the debate.
Right, like they changed the format
on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday.
Well, they're going to do a sit down discussion, and Bernie has listed out about all kinds of topics that he wants to discuss
with Biden. Joe. Yeah, I heard that.
I think with his friend Joe, and it's going to be Night at Grandpa's, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing how Joe responds because Bernie is so with it, and I want to see Joe. And I really want America to see Joe.
There's word saying that maybe that might be canceled, but I don't quote me. I haven't had time to look into everything. For Christ's sake, I haven't wanted to. But Yeah, and then there's also rumors that that because Biden would do so horribly in debate against Trump that they might, like at the convention, give all of his delegates to someone else. Like, okay, don't quote me on this because this is just a rumor.
But I know
Hillary
that's
Clinton.
what that
But
drives. But why should we do this to ourselves?
I
Why are we?
know. I don't
Why are
want to.
you're gonna make yourself feel sicker? You're torturing yourself.
I am torturing myself. I mean,
Well,
it's bad
stop.
enough.
You
I try.
wanted. You said you
I
wanted my therapy session tonight.
okay. The
Torturing yourself
distraction
is not
is
doing
the
you any good.
coronavirus, sadly.
It's not even that. It's I don't like to see you all worked up over something you actually have no control of today when your body needs you.
I know.
That's all you asked me earlier.
Oh, Zox is here. Finally, Zox.
I have to take my own advice.
I know. Yes, you do.
So I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm saying right now, and I have to take my own advice. And I do. I hardly do anything anymore.
Me either. I need to get
That's
out.
that there's good. Oh, I don't know.
I need to go camping and go hiking and stuff. This winter kills me. I get seasonal depression so bad when I can't get out and do things. So
I get depressed when I read Michigan to Sanders from the Hill. The revolution has been canceled. You know what? Do you know how disgusting that sounds?
that's
That
horrible.
I'm on Twitter and I see these people saying that, and I think
You know what I have to say to them? The revolution has just begun, you
begun, you
assholes.
fucking morons.
Just wait. You screw over the it's not just Bernie. It's
No.
the movement he started. That's who you're screwing over. It's
And
not
you're not
just Bernie.
voting for you have to vote for the kids like Whitney. Not for us. Don't vote for yourself if you're over a certain age. You're voting for the kids, you selfish piece of shit.
The majority
I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. The majority of younger people who are like on the liberal side, right, on the left, are voting for Bernie Sanders. So that I guess there is like this generational divide.
Yeah.
You know, the majority of not you guys, but the majority of older people, like that generation, the generations before millennials,
you guys don't buy the fear porn. The older people do.
Oh, they do because
in the Washington Post, it was a concerted effort by every outlet of the supposed liberal establishment to do this because they decided that they don't think what Sanders is selling is good for the country because they don't trust the younger generations who are inheriting all this shit. And we're gonna be fucking dead. And it's terrible. It's wrong. It's like so disrespectful of younger people.
it is absolutely. But by the way, did everybody hear that Trump may have been infected? I think I said that on the last.
He's been infected for 30 years with syphilis, or even more than that. No, I'm only kidding.
And he's scared to death of being. Did you hear what he was saying?
Bio.
I know. He was saying the virus that he thinks someone will get the virus on purpose in the press, and just so they can ride on Air Force One and infect him.
Yeah. Well, he is paranoid, and there are a lot of reasons why he should be because everybody hates him except Bio. Bio, we love you, but a lot of people really hate him.
I don't think I said hi to Val.
And I'm not putting down. I'm not putting down people at all. And like my husband will say, he gets really upset because his nephew is always putting all this Trump stuff on his Facebook. And I just said, listen, hon, instead of getting all upset, and it's not worth it. You love your nephew, right? Well, what if your nephew was in a cult? You couldn't do a thing about it, but you're still going to love your nephew. So you have to ride this thing out.
It is like
love your nephew and ride yourself. Ride it. Just ride it out. Love your nephew. And just don't talk politics. If you know, and when it gets you upset,
it was that easy with my family though, because they've all got. I call Trump a virus. Trump is a virus.
But you're
certain
triggered
people
by
got
them.
it. Most of my family has the Trump
Yeah,
virus,
I know.
and it doesn't matter what the conversation is. They'll drag in how horrible this Democrat is or whatever. All Democrats. It's never just this person or this policy.
They trigger you all the time.
Democrats are after you, and okay, I don't like Democrat establishment either, but constantly hearing that, and you're just supposed to shut up and say nothing, and so I do most of the time, and then every once in a while I'll be like, but Trump, just did that same thing you're accusing the Democrats of doing, and then it's all over with. Then they start a big fight, and Democrats are worse. Democrats.
Oh, really? So they're in the cult, but they're also in the they're stuck in the blame shifting for everything.
Yes.
So
They can't
basically,
accept Trump has any flaws. They can only
Right.
accept that the Democrats are evil and Trump is a god. So
And one
that's
thing
it.
about us is we can
How do you
accept
communicate
that
with
our
people that
people
are
have
that
flaws.
delusional? I
You
really like
don't.
to know how you
You
communicate with
don't.
someone that
You have to
delusional.
figure out how to absorb this and accept the things you cannot change and have the wisdom to know the difference because you can't change them.
Yeah.
You can educate people that want to be educated.
So I distanced myself a little
Yeah,
bit
good
from
girl.
those family members because otherwise it would just become more toxic and we would just fight. So I decided to shut my mouth and distance myself. That's what I did.
You're right. I had to do it with my brother. Okay, Whitney, it's your turn.
Christopher,
You got two blabbermouths here.
he says that the NBA just suspended and going south. NBA was suspended because someone on the Jazz tested positive coronavirus.
Somebody on
Oh,
the
the
what?
Jazz?
The Utah Jazz.
Oh, the Utah. Well,
Okay, why am I so excited about that?
Because now you can stay home from work. Utah
I know
Jazz.
Utah is so
It's in
infected. I'm
Utah.
telling you,
Crazy.
Utah is. You go to a Mormon church, everyone's hugging each other. They do the sacrament thing. They are so
I
infected.
don't think that'll be here with my Amish people. They don't go anywhere but
Amish, nice.
Yeah, and they go everywhere. They go to all the
Yeah.
events. They are so social people. They go to the mall all the time, and they're just
They're like
infections waiting to
hyper-Catholics,
happen. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all that because we had our first case in Davis County, and then we had another case that's I think it's down south, but they haven't been testing people in Utah. They've been testing in California. They've been testing in Washington. Only very few people have been tested in Utah. I wouldn't doubt if the number of people tested in Utah is under 5. I really wouldn't doubt it. And we have 2 cases here.
This is like a threat to public health at this point if we're not testing people like accurately or like
we don't have
efficiently.
it in Western New York.
Oh yeah, that's why it's going to go out of control really fast. Really
My
fast.
husband's
We're testing
gonna
less
make
than
him
Italy
take
did.
leave.
How are we going to be in better shape than Italy in 2 weeks from now? How would that happen? Like
I don't know.
No, you see, we're a much larger country. Italy could be a state. We're going state by state, and each of our states is like a country in Europe, let's say. So, I mean, that's how we have to look at it here.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
because if you look at the country in one big number, you get a little overwhelmed, or it could be, you could also minimize it.
Right. Okay, hold on.
So, like,
Jean, I thought we talked about this because she said any thoughts about the delegates choosing Hillary or someone else when Biden
I hope
had
not.
exploded. That's what I talked about. It's like there's rumors.
I don't think it's going to happen. I honestly really think if the DNC did something like that, there would be a revolt. I can't. I mean, it could be worse than what happened in Philly in 2016.
Biden's going to
Way
lose to
worse.
Trump in the debate so easily.
But you think Hillary? She's one of the most hated women in the world. She won't be picked. She'll lose handily.
The DNC isn't that bright, though.
You see how angry they are at how angry she is? She is an angry, miserly woman who says horrible things about Bernie. But the thing is, I just can't. They can't. If they did it, it would be insanity, and then I would absolutely just be.
What did you guys think of Hillary Clinton in the 1990s?
I didn't like her ever because I'm from New York. And when she weaseled her way into New York to be the senator and never lived here because Bill bought a place in Harlem trying to be the black Bill. Sorry, I never liked her. I didn't vote for her because she weaseled her way into my fucking state and she wasn't a New Yorker.
Yeah.
I want a New Yorker to represent my Senate seat.
I never gave Hillary Clinton a thought until she ran for president. Hi, Tuff.
The only thing I liked about her was way back when her husband was president. She came to Buffalo, it was around 94. She came to Buffalo and she was really proactive with these programs for women and children and healthcare. And then something changed. It might have been Monica Lewinsky. I don't know, but I also don't have respect for someone who just stays in a relationship like she stayed in, which is just for the power. Mm-hmm.
Zox,
And that's what it is.
wanting me to
What
watch?
kind of role model is she? I think it's ridiculous that they say that Hillary Clinton is a role model for women who stayed with a guy that fucked everybody else. And I mean, sorry, I'm saying it here. Oh, you're monetized, aren't you?
Okay, Zox is like going on about a
Sorry.
video. I want to know what video he's talking about. Tell me what it is.
Wait, Alex, watch
What
that
are we
video.
talking about?
The
What
Hillary
video?
Clinton documentary.
Watch this
Which
video.
Alex?
I don't know what video it is. I'm going to copy that link
Chris
address.
Lund, watch that video. Wait, I'm going to look. Oh, okay, I'll put it on. I'm going to put it on right now. Transcript of WhatsApp, audio files from Lombardi Epicenter. Okay, well, let's watch it.
Okay.
Hanno chiuso interi reparti, hanno ridotto i posti letto dei reparti tradizionali, hanno bloccato gli interventi.
Oh, it's subtitles?
Yeah, you can't see it.
I could see it when it was up there close. I could
But it's inside, yeah, but it's upside down. Wait.
Ogni giorno in maniera esponenziale.
Is this?
Okay.
Can you see it right or not?
Yeah.
But it'll be too small for anyone watching on a phone. They're just semi-heart attack.
He's talking about the exponential.
Hospital is bursting. It's got 30. Yeah, I know what's going on in Italy. That's what's so freaking scary. ICUs distribute the beds and decide who. I know. I've already heard of this.
Okay, so
that's where we're going to be
ahead.
really soon.
Yeah.
Really, really soon. Because we're already bursting at the seams in our hospitals. So, yeah.
And I'm living so rurally that we have tiny little hospitals that they're associated. Well, they'll fly everybody to the big hospitals in Rochester and Buffalo, but there's going to be a capacity problem if this is what happens. I'm not leaving my house.
Isn't equipped to deal with critical care patients. They send them all up to the University of Utah.
Yeah.
So how long is that going to last? I've been to the critical care place in the University of Utah. There's maybe 5 critical care rooms in the whole University of Utah hospital. It's like, that's not going to last long. That's not going to happen.
Valhalla says, one positive with the coronavirus, it is an equal opportunity killer. Rich, poor, left, right, man, woman.
Yep.
We are all potential victims.
Well, Trump keeps having his rallies.
And shaking hands.
Uh-huh.
So,
and Bernie canceled his.
It's funny. It's weird. I don't understand it quite. Maybe Trump is trying to like portray this I'm a tough guy because he's so
at the same
completely
time, he's scared
clueless.
shitless of it.
Well, we don't know that 100%. His actions are not reflect unless these are staged pictures with people that all wash their hands and we're all clean. Maybe they decontaminated them before they took the picture.
Right.
How do we know? Maybe it's
I don't
fake
know.
media.
TRC is saying 2100 looking pretty uninhabitable right now. Yeah,
oh my god, that's just like
Human's here. Human, I missed you. You haven't been around.
Human liked Antonio's video yesterday. Human, I felt really good when you said that was the best hour you spent. It made me feel good for Tony.
I need to catch up on that.
Let me tell you, listen to it in the car. It was just really good for him.
I'll totally let you know.
I don't agree with everything, but he's 26. I respect everything he says.
Play that video of the king talking to peasants in Monty Python.
You really want me to find it? Okay.
Why not? It would be funny.
Okay, but I got. What's the clip? Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and is it the Holy Grail? But which clip? I don't know which clip.
The king talking to the
not dead yet scene. Bring out your dead. Oh, well, we could do this one. Oh boy, Harbinger of the Future.
Here we go. Monty Python, everybody.
Oh, shit.
This is so depressing, though.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I'm stoned.
I wish I was. I need to
okay, I think we've had enough of that. All right, the morbid time is over. You know, everybody that knows me knows that I am very.
These pandemics, if they get big enough, I mean, they change societies historically, right? Like, I know the Black Death was bacterial, but, you know, we're supposedly civilized world, and
yeah,
I don't
right?
know.
Really? Are we?
Exactly. I question that because it's just like,
Not
are
seeing
we?
it.
Like, let's
Let
look
let
at
the
the reality.
immigrants die at the border. Oh,
Yeah.
that was another thing I never brought up. I meant to bring it up. Ah, at the border, the camps where they're keeping all the immigrants that, in prisons basically, and the courtrooms. They made them take down all the signs warning you to wash your hands and all that about the COVID virus.
Yeah.
They made them take down all the notices, all
It's
of
like
them.
so stupid. Every place you go should have notices everywhere. That's what they
The
do.
Trump administration made them take those notices down.
Idiots.
Idiots. We are living in the craziest time right now. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, it's opposite. It's crazy. Religious people are all for hate and greed, and I don't understand.
Write a song about it.
I was raised to believe religious people gave, their heart and soul to other people. I have not seen evidence of that almost never in my entire life, of real people doing that. Almost never. Not always. I mean, there's a few, but mostly not. They're mostly about, oh, if I give the church 10% of my gross income, then God's gonna bless me and I'm gonna get lots of nice things like a big house and money and all. That's the religion I was raised around. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's why you go to church, so you can get things and then have a planet eventually. Not the women, but the men can have a planet one day.
Not the women.
Not the women. No, the women don't get
rule an
planets.
entire planet.
Get a whole entire planet. Just
But how? Like, how is that
10%.
possible? How
I
can you
don't
get
know.
how can you physically rule one and like you only live so long? Like, are they trying to say you turn into a god and rule a planet?
When you die, you if you lived correctly, you become a god.
Okay. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Sorry, Mormons are a cult. I can't explain
Mormons.
that.
Okay, it sounds almost like Greek mythology.
Yeah.
It's Mormons. It's Mormons. And most Mormons don't even know that that's their belief. They don't get to learn that till later because they teach them a little bit at a time as they go through the church process. But it's a proof of, you can look it up. It's it's not a secret anymore. It's
okay, Martyr the Rome. What do you think the probability is that if this is a bioweapon and they had the vaccine, that our leaders would have been pre-vaccinated? I think the probability is quite high given the optics. Okay, I'm going to answer to this. First of all, I hate
some leaders have got it.
I hate to succumb to paranoia, and I would have to know what the motive was by whoever it was that developed it. What country was it? I mean, there's so many variables here that it's supposition, and I want to see what the science is about this before
I want to know more. I mean, like,
into anything, because I can't play that game.
I don't mind conspiracy theory if it's just asking questions and you have a good basis for that. So, I mean, so far I haven't seen any evidence that it's a biological weapon. It's like it's hitting almost every country in the world. Which country did it? And all the largest, most the most technologically advanced countries have got this infection. So, who would it be? Who would have?
Well, wait, they have this virus because it's a virus that's part of another set of viruses. I mean, I don't know.
It came from animals, from what they.
Well, this is where I have to step out because I do not know enough.
I don't know either. That's the problem.
Well, it's not. I'll read it from Nature magazine, or I'll read it from one of the.
Gal says Biden will win Washington. What the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck is right? I'm pretty sure there's still fuckery going on in the election. And by the way, when I started this channel, one of the first things I said is Bernie will be cheated again. And guess what? And I don't care if you think the elections were rigged or whatever.
And I don't have
there's actual vote flipping or whatever. It was rigged just because the media is collaborating with the DNC and the elites, and they've smeared Bernie Sanders. They've misrepresented his policies the whole entire time. So uneducated voters might believe the crap that they put out, so it doesn't matter. The election was rigged. He's a cheater no matter what. Biden and the DNC and all that. Cheaters.
Yeah, listen to Antonio. He said the same thing last night, but in just his way of making you feel like crying. Because it was just, it was, no, it was good. It was so good. I mean, really, I guess I just love him. I love him.
He didn't really. I heard you talking about it with him on the I think it was the last one you were on, but
yeah, we did
really
one together,
points, and I agree with everything he says on that issue. 100%. I agree.
Echoes of not. It's a neo-lib weapon going to clear the Social Security rolls. You know, we can laugh about it all. I just can't. You know, I don't know. Maybe I just can't. I know how evil men can be. Obviously we lived through the Dick Cheney.
There's a lot of crazy shit going on,
and I've lived through a lot of evil people eras, and so nothing would surprise me, but. Right now, I guess emotionally, I'm not there to go jump off any of those kinds of bridges.
Hello, Kate Kameshwari. Kate, I don't know.
Hi, Kate.
But right.
Hi, Gina? Kate. I see Kate everywhere.
I know. I always see her on your channel.
Kate, did you like Nicole today?
Often enough to get a wrench. So.
Yeah, she's cool.
That's how I know that they've been here.
It was thank you, Jean. It was passionate. I hope that Antonio can go on other places, move on. He articulates well, and he's 26 and really represents the passion of the kids, and older people need to watch the kids. Like you, Whitney.
What's canceled? Torstein, what's canceled? Did I miss this? What's canceled?
The same things. Oh, the election's canceled. Well, listen, Trump wants to he's going to emulate what Putin's doing right now. Putin wants another 16 years. So they're going to, in their parliament, they're already putting on the deliberations to make this happen. And people are folding because under Putin, they don't feel, and that's what's happening here.
I've heard a totally different story about the Russia thing and Putin because, okay, I listened to a really long, drawn out explanation of what's going on, and he's actually giving himself less power and limiting his ability.
Yeah, they're redoing their parliamentary rules.
Yeah.
But he wants to be in for 16 years.
No, not 16. Wait, that's not what
he wants to be for 16. Well, I can find the article. The whole gist of it is that I'm saying is that our Donald Trump would love to do that. Well, they're going by parliamentary rules. They're going to rewrite things. I'm talking about another country. I'm not talking about Putin and our elections. I'm talking about what Putin, as a president of a country, is doing in his parliament. Just like I would talk about what Boris Johnson might be doing, or what anybody might be doing.
Do you listen to what's her name, Kim Iverson? Do you listen to her?
I've listened to Kim Iverson.
She did a story on that. Look it up. Because she explains. I'm not an expert on it, but when she explained it, it was not what the Democrats were representing.
That's not where I read it either. I didn't read it
look up Kim Iverson's video on it. She did a video on it. It's very well researched. I think. I'm pretty sure it was Kim Iverson. But check into that. She's pretty good. She usually
it's the Russian parliament, and the parliament it's like we have Congress, like in the UK, it's parliamentary rules. The Russian parliament is backing the move because
they get to choose their leader, and Putin's not. I don't know. Just watch that. The Kim does a really good explanation.
Well, I'll look at her. I'll do her.
Just do that. Don't.
I'll look at her.
It'll frustrate me if we go on this more because I don't know enough details to debate it with you. So.
I'm not debating it. I just would like to look at what her stuff is.
My
where she gets it from.
Trump could do that. I don't think he will do that if Biden is the nomination for the Democrats. He's too easy to win. Why would he go through all that trouble? He could.
I was just making kind of a joke.
Oh, a joke. That's funny.
Kind of.
I know, but Russians are a sensitive spot for me because they've used it so bad against Jill Stein, Tulsi Gabbard,
It's
Bernie
a country.
Sanders.
It's a
No, but
country.
they're using it against. They're saying that everyone
I'm
who's
not
a progressive is a Russian asset. I don't want to talk about Russians. Damn it!
We're not. We won't.
I get mad about that. That's a separate issue than our elections. Our elections are.
He's saying I don't become Brian Weinstein. Not at all. My God, what if I was talking about France, the guy in France? I mean, any of them could move to make parliamentary changes to accept. What do you think? Netanyahu didn't want to do that in Israel? They went through their third election.
I can't argue this with you because I don't remember the details.
I'm talking to everybody
Kim Iverson covered it, and she convinced me that they were misrepresenting what's actually going on there. So she convinced me.
Okay,
and if I cared more about it, I would go in and I would try to back up everything she said. I just don't care that much about it, and I hate the Russian scare thing. It pisses me off really bad. That's just,
okay. Just know that this had nothing to do with that.
That's a hot button for me. It really is, because that's why Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard and Jill Stein are so
that's a whole political thing that's happening in the United States. This is another country.
You know what
another country. I know what you mean, but I can't find it.
It's not important. Okay, I was looking for. There was a new person. Shush. Okay, someone with a weird name. Brishmock Mock Crew says shush. Okay, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry I probably destroyed your name, but I don't know. Val, guys, UVC will kill Corona. Why do you keep saying that? We already heard you say that. You said that 10 times on Monday. I'm not too worried about. I mean, the sun will kill it too. If you're out in the sun, it will kill it. So go out in the sun. Lots of vitamin D helps your respiratory system, and your respiratory system is what this virus attacks. So it's very helpful. Vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin C never hurts anyway. That'll help you from getting other sicknesses. Never helps, never hurts. So always take vitamin C, vitamin D. Russiagate is BS. Absolutely curious. Absolutely. I'm so sick of Russiagate. I just want to take anyone who talks about Russiagate and throw them out the fucking window.
Anything to do with that.
I know, but I'm triggered by Russia right now. Because look what happened to Bernie.
Marsha.
I know. Marsha. The sun will kill us all.
Michael.
Yeah, it might. Probably will, because of, global warming and all and stuff. I'm talking about because I'm trying to save lives. Oh, okay, Val. It kills virus and bacteria, but people still have to remove grime, etc. It's not a miracle cure. Hi, Gazar. Hello, Gazar. No, it's not a miracle cure, and you can't UV the inside. So once you get it inside your body, what are you going to do? Go around when you're at a store or something with your UV light and scan everything you're touching and your credit card while you're handing it to the person.
Right. There are lights that kill viruses, but you're right, Chris can walk around with.
You can't. I'm sorry, it's not a cure-all. It might be good for your home, to sanitize your home and your belongings, but you can't. It's not a cure-all. It's definitely not a cure-all. Kills it in the air. Okay. Does it kill? Oh no. I don't know. I just don't see anyone walking around with one. I don't know.
Okay.
What about going south? They're taking their kids out of school. Who's taking their kids out of? Oh, your relatives taking their kids out of school.
Okay. I am now getting the coronavirus.
Is that a UV light or is that just a flashlight?
Off of me. It is a blue light, and I'm going to get it off of me.
Don't forget to shine it in your eyes. Okay, we're not making fun. We're just laughing. We're laughing with you, Val.
We have to. You have to laugh. Life is too serious not to. My God, I cry pretty much.
They could put the lights in the hospital. Yeah.
I needed to have fun with you girls tonight. That's why I'm being goofy.
Kent Dill's here. Hi, Kent.
No matter how serious the subjects are, for God's sakes, once in a while, you just have to be nutty.
This is when we laugh. Definitely. Did I miss any? Let's see. Okay, I just wanted to mention before people, if everyone's considering voting for that fucktard Biden, he has stated that he will veto Medicare for all if he is president and it comes across his desk.
Yeah, he didn't think he'd sign it, but it's not going to come across his desk right away because he's not going to be elected. So there you go. I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. Well, I don't hate to say it, but I hate to say the two of them.
Okay, I think I covered everything. Whitney, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up? I know she has a recent video. Go look at the Green Report. You haven't been on the hottest.
No, I feel like European. I feel like environmental news is taking a back seat right now. It's like the coronavirus is important.
Absolutely.
Well, not on our page. Just go on our Facebook page. Jonathan's got it all covered.
Bad. But I'm sorry. The coronavirus is environmental news. If you ask me, because it's shutting down so much of human activity.
Shut down.
I love that part about it. So it is kind of environmental news for me. So.
Well, that's good because I was like categorizing them differently. So now they just merged.
They are merged. Think about how much destruction has ceased because of the coronavirus.
You're right.
Wow, we've been on a long time.
I know. We got to get out of here. That's why I'm saying, let's kind of try and wrap stuff up. But yeah, talk about the heat, the hottest summer or winter.
Real quick. So Europe had its hottest winter on record. So the 2019-2020 winter, like the last three, so December, January, February. So yeah, Europe just had its hottest winter on record. And the temperatures are way above normal. Jim Mossa and I are probably going to continue this conversation in an upcoming video because he knows all the numbers and stuff. He's good with that. But yeah, he talked about the average. So basically, Europe is 3.9 degrees Celsius hotter than the average from 1981 to 2010, which I'm going to quote Jim Mossa is extremely. It's abnormal. It's anomalous. That's way above a 30-year average. Mm-hmm. So Europe is really, it's not good because summer comes and it's probably going to be even worse.
Oh God. Yeah. Can you imagine?
So,
summers are getting hotter and hotter and hotter, especially in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, exactly. I just fear that if Europe is having their hottest winter on record, what is their summer going to look like?
Mm-hmm. It's a worry. I'm concerned because then how do we grow our food? And I'm worried here because last year we had a lot of hot days, a lot of record setting temperatures, a lot of days above 105. What's it going to look like this year? And will my crops survive? The hot sun killed a whole bunch of crops, and then we had a super hard freeze that killed a lot of stuff really early, and then it got warm again. The temperatures are in rapid swings, and that makes it really hard to grow food. Super hard.
Exactly. So, and how much longer can we do the status quo? It just doesn't, everything's accelerating. Apparently the 2010s, really the data is showing that the 2010s was our hottest decade on record. 2016 was our hottest year. 2020, January was the hottest January on record, and February 20, the data is coming out, but it's close to the first, but it's the second warmest February on record, and that's human history. Come on, we're entering a warming period, and it's pretty.
And then you start hitting the temperature; those record-setting temperatures get broke when those recent ones start getting broke.
Yes,
that's when you really got to start worrying. It's not necessarily the ones 100 years ago.
Right.
Don't worry me as much as the ones when it's okay, we just had this record-setting temperature 3 days ago, and now we're higher than that, and then or last year, then we're beating that one from last year. those are the ones that scare me more than the ones 100 years ago, I guess. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's like as we progress into the future, like the data from the past isn't as relevant as 30 years. Like we need to stick to like the past 30 years because that's relevant to now.
Absolutely.
So and that's Jim Massa has been helping me because the data,
I know Jim Moss is really good though. All right, let's all
shouting out to him.
read a couple.
I'm so glad he's
comments.
on your show.
And
yeah, he's informing. He's good.
Hi, Warren. Warren. Hi. He says he's watching anticipating global dimming indicators due to decrease in global industry CO2. We want to know who's watching it. We said that earlier.
That's going to be interesting.
What scientists are, what universities? I could bet Harvard's in on this one. I could bet you Harvard's in on this one. And they're going to be in it through their SRM program probably because this is right up that alley.
Okay, so
she talks about being warm and now I'm really warm.
Yeah, what's his name?
Well, I got that wood stove in there chugging and it's hot.
Wait, why does Jean say don't move to Canada? Not a good idea. Why is that? Why? That was my escape route. Go to Canada.
Grow stuff this year. You might need it. I'm definitely growing things. I have plants started. I'm so proud of my cucumbers. I started these from seed. Aren't they pretty?
Warren, it might be. That's something we're gonna hopefully cover. I mean,
cucumbers. My lovely cucumbers.
Oh, nice, Chris. Goes along with the research. I know I gotta get seeds, which I haven't ordered yet, even though my husband keeps saying.
It's kind of late.
You order your seed? Not here. It's not late here. It's fine here.
I didn't even see Warren in there.
The snow just melted. I'm just starting in my inside greenhouse with new seeds because the old seeds he gave me didn't work.
Oh no.
They were like, he gave me seeds that his sister gave him, that somebody gave her. They were all in envelopes, handwritten. It looked like, I said, Doug, I planted them and they never grew. So obviously they were past their little expiration point.
There's some I almost gave up on, and then I planted them like 3 weeks ago, and then like 2 days ago they finally popped up, and I'm like, they're not dead. It was my squash, my summer squash. I was like, I'm gonna have to replant those. They were last year's seeds, but they finally did germinate. So
I don't even know when my husband will get all that stuff in.
Okay, guys. Talk to peeps so we can get out of here because I gotta
go for it. Talk to your peeps. I gotta go to lay down.
Okay, let's see. Where are we going? Arctic has been colder than normal lately. Have you been in Arctic? Just kidding. Seriously.
I wish.
See ice all over the place.
I could go. I probably could afford a trip now on a big ass cruise ship.
Seriously, less than 50%. Okay, there's
Lose Gal. I'm sorry to read that. Lose my car, have no place to live, keep having anxiety, zero money in the bank. This is epidemic for so many Americans.
I know.
What she just wrote freaking broke my heart. And I'm whining about my situation and feeling like I'm gonna lose everything. And
where's she at?
I don't know. Midwest? I think they were talking about this in the thing, in the chat, Kim, and they're talking about Illinois. She's in Illinois. Midwest, that's what I thought. Well, Warren, hello, ladies. Thank you for pressing on and all that you do, love and rage. And you know what? I'm going to go, guys. I'm going to say goodnight first. Whitney, thank you. You're such a lovely person that I feel so really blessed in whatever Marianne Williamson spiritual way I am. So good night, Chris. We were not debating. We were just talking.
We're good.
We're good, babe. We're good.
Always good.
We're always good. We're always good. Mwah. I love y'all. Good night, everybody.
Sandy.
Bye. You guys finish up.
Have a good night. Rest well. Feel better.
I do now because I have fun.
Yay. No, I am. Okay, guys, we are really going to get out of here. Dang. Trump announced on Wednesday night that he was taking strong but necessary actions to keep cases of coronavirus from entering the United States by suspending all travel from Europe for 30 days. When did that happen?
I mean, things are happening so quickly. Probably
I know, and I've been trying
today.
to listen, and then I spend way too much time wasted waiting for a meeting that never happens, and then cutting off that hearing in the middle. It's like, what the
They're just
hell?
not organized. They can't handle this, really.
I know. Good night, buddy. Everyone's saying good night. Okay, sleep
Good
well.
night,
Good to
everyone.
see you, Tina, Kent Deal, Cheryl Hewitt. Thank you so much for coming. Kim, Osama, Torstein. We love y'all. Jean, Hans, I said TRC, Martyr. I said Jean, I'm pretty sure. Okay, Bio, thank you very much for being the first person here almost always. Val, love you, Val. We'll see you on Monday. Moose Gal, I'm so sorry about your situation. I wish there was some way I could help you. Damn it. I feel really bad. No one should have to be in that situation because I always love it when you come. Missed you bunches. Okay, guys, we've got to get out of here. Love you much. Yeah, eat your vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, mushroom stuff, whatever. Osama knows. Good night. Good night, Bio. All right. Love y'all. Good night.